Hey everybody, it's the Culinary Shut-In here, and today's recipe is going to be when life gives you lemons, make lemon bars. And not only has life given us lemons with everything that's going on with COVID-19 right now, but my yard is giving me lemons, so I'm going to be making that recipe for you. But before I start that, I want to thank everyone for the feedback that you've given me. I've gotten such great feedback. A lot of you have sent me photographs of the recipes, the way you've made them. And with your permission, if you could send me those in an email and allow me to put them in my community page on the website, I'd love to do that because I really do want this to be a community effort. But some of the feedback that I got was that you wanted to see me on video. So here I am. This is my debut. I kind of was going for the Sia effect, just showing my hands and not being in the videos, but most of the feedback was that you wanted to see me, so here I am. It's kind of funny because I know so many of my friends can't get their nails done. I never had nails. Eyelashes, we can't get our eyebrows done. We can't get our hair colored. I haven't had a haircut in weeks, but compared to what some of you are going through with this time in our life, if you want to see me on video with long hair and all, then I'm here for you. So I'll be adding myself to the videos going forward. But today we are going to make lemon bars, and there's so many recipes that I love. My daughter's mother-in-law, Faye, makes maybe one of the best lemon bars I've ever had, but I don't have her recipe, so I'm going to make one that I like just as much. And it won't take very long. The outcome's going to be really great, and I'll see you when we're done. This lemon bar recipe is a two-part recipe. The first part is the crust, and to make the crust, we are going to use 2 sticks of butter, or 8 ounces, or 1 cup, however you want to refer to that. We're going to add to that a half a cup of powdered sugar and 2 cups of flour. After we make the crust, we will put that in the oven, and then we will make the filling, and the two will come together to make a really incredible lemon bar. So in our bowl, we have our 2 sticks of room temperature butter, and to that, we are going to add half a cup of powdered sugar. So we're going to take the opportunity to cream that together to get it nice and smooth and creamy. So as it's creaming, we are going to, probably stop midway and scrape down the bowl a little bit, because the thing about powdered sugar is sometimes it sticks to the bottom. So be sure to make sure you get everything mixed in with the butter. So give it a good scrape so that that can happen, and then just kind of clean your spatula off on your mixer blade so that we can get this ready for the flour. So to the creamed butter and powdered sugar mixture, we're going to add our 2 cups of flour, and just have a really slow speed on your mixer. You can pretty much add the flour almost all at once, and that is going to combine at a stir speed until it comes away from the bowl and is a very nice crust. So kind of speeding it up here, we're going to have the crust come away from the bowl, and then we're going to get it ready, and we will put it in our pan. So now that we have our crust prepared, we're going to put it in a 9x13 pan. And I really love these gold pans from Williams-Sonoma. They just clean up beautifully, and they bake and really well. So we need to get this pan prepared. So let me go off and do that. Now I prepared the pan, and I like to use this Bake Clean ZT. I get it at Williams-Sonoma. It is really a large quantity, 14 ounces. And what I love about it is it works beautifully, and it's not real cakey. It doesn't make the pan over prepared. So that's kind of my favorite way to prepare a pan. You can use butter if you like. So we're going to take the crust, and we're going to put it in the pan, And as I have said many times in my videos, one of my favorite kitchen tools is my hand. So I am going to use my hands to spread this crust in this 9x13 pan. You may have your preferred way to do that. If you don't like to use your hands, please do what you're comfortable with. But I just kind of put pieces of it all around the pan. And then using my hand, I'm smoothing the dough in the entire pan. It's very important to have the dough even throughout the entire pan, because if you don't, you'll get little pockets where you have too much filling, and that's somewhat of an uneven result. But it's not hard to get it even. Just make sure to press it all in there. You can tell by feel if you've got your dough spread evenly throughout the pan. So just keep kind of moving it in there and pressing it until you have it exactly the way that you like it. And once you have that done, we are going to put that in the oven and bake it at 350 for 20 minutes. And while that's happening, we will prepare our filling. To make our filling, we're going to use the following ingredients. We are going to use 4 eggs, 2 cups of sugar, 6 tablespoons of lemon juice, 1/3 cup of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder. I like to use the small cans because baking powder can go bad, so you always want to keep rotating it. A tablespoon of lemon zest. So that's going to be our filling, and we're going to do that about 5 minutes before the crust comes out of the oven. To make our filling, we're going to start with the eggs. So we're going to put 4 eggs in our bowl, and we are going to mix the eggs first because we want to make sure that we get these eggs to be very buttery and lemony looking before we add any other ingredients. So I like to use a hand mixer because I feel like I have more control. So we're going to beat up these eggs, and you will see that when we are done with these, that they are just the right consistency. Once we have the eggs beaten, we are going to add our sugar to the eggs. And let me just show you here what the eggs should look like when they're ready. So you can see how buttery they are. They're thoroughly mixed. So we're going to add the sugar to it, and then we're going to beat that together. And the sugar and the eggs will create very thick syrup. And so we want to get that before we start adding other ingredients. So you can see here we've got the eggs and the sugar combined. It's a nice thick syrup. And to that we're going to add the other ingredients. So we're going to add our lemon zest. I like to add it first. There's really no particular order. And then our 6 tablespoons of lemon juice. And by the way, that was one of those huge lemons that I started with. The 1/3 cup of flour. And then the final remaining ingredient is the 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And following traditional bakery process, we're going to have that be a level teaspoon. So using our mixer, we're going to combine the remaining ingredients with our sugar and eggs, and kind of get that all really well blended and mixed up. I had mentioned that it's probably best to do this about 5 minutes before the crust comes out of the oven, because sometimes it'll separate a little, even though that doesn't change the results. And be sure to scrape your bowl down. I'm kind of messy when I throw ingredients in, and you want to make sure that you get everything incorporated. So our crust is done. It's been in the oven for 20 minutes. You can see it's beautifully browned. There is no need to wait. You can take your filling and pour that immediately on the crust. So, we're going to just kind of pour that in there, and you can see how lemony it looks. And I got a little bit of separation because in preparation for the video, I got this ready ahead of time, but that won't matter. It won't affect the final result. So we're going to scrape all of that, make sure we get all of it onto our crust, And don't leave any of that lemony goodness in your bowl. Be sure to get all of it, because it really, this really makes for such a great bar. So I like to make sure I get every little bit. And once we have done that, we are going to spread that around to make sure that it's evenly distributed across the entire crust. So there we go. We've got that in our pan, and we are ready to put that back in the oven. I don't know if you noticed, I washed my oven mitts for you, so they're all nice and clean now. But we are ready to put that in the oven. The lemon bars are done. It's time to take them out of the oven. And the most important thing you need to do at this point is to allow plenty of time so that they can cool completely. So our last step was to allow the bars to cool completely. And what I like to do is when they are 100% cool, I put them in the refrigerator to firm up even more. I like them cold when I cut them and before I apply the powdered sugar to the bar. It's quite a simple recipe. I know you'll enjoy it. A little story, when you're video blogging out of your home and you live with a family of 6 people, you do not leave the product on the counter and then take the dog for a walk, because I came back to quite a few of my lemon bars missing. But I was able to plate them up and show you how nice they turned out. They really are quite delicious. It's a simple recipe, and it's a great one to make if you have lemons on hand and flour and sugar. It's not all that involved. So I hope you enjoy this recipe. If you did, if you could like the video and also subscribe to the culinaryshutin.com on YouTube, that would mean the world to me. I hope that you're all staying at home, that you're staying safe, that your family's healthy. And until we meet again, this is the Culinary Shut-In.